Greetings, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be looking at Bigquery GIS. Please like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, reach out to me in the comments for any help or assistance. Link to the lab as well as social media will be posted in the video description. All right, so Bigquery GIS is the combination of having a large amount of data represented in a Bigquery data set, and that data is going to be applied with maps, which is used by the acronym GIS, which is known as Geographical Information Systems. Right, so that overview. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the front end, start download and run the front end as well as the back end, as I've already done, and starts the lab. So we want to go ahead and do is you want to head it over to environment in the front end and actually get this introduction to be true. I want to go ahead into the environment backend like so, and set up the environment to allow for our introduction to begin. Right. So in this introduction, what we're basically going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at how BigQuery handles geographic data as well as how it looks in one of its front-end APIs. Right, so after setting up the backend, what we're going to do is we're going to copy like so into our query and hit submit. Right, and we could see from our query data here that we get a bunch of points like so. Let's try to zoom in. Right, so these points are actually representative of a map. So this type of data you don't want to see really in a grid. You want this to be expressed on a map somewhere. Fortunately for us, right, we can work with that with Bigquery GeoGIS. So what we want to do is, this is like a regular Google app. So we go ahead, authorize ourselves like so. Right, I was already able to log in, but if you're logging in for the first time, what you'd have to do is you'd have to allow Google to work with all the scopes that are provided in the app. I just given permission, just basically to have access to your BigQuery account part of your project. After so, what we want to go ahead and do is you want to type in the query, and then you also want to let the app know about the project ID, something that is kind of not too noticeable at first, but you want to make sure that that's the case. After like so, you want to go ahead and hit run like so. And now that same data that we saw on our in that table is now expressed in this map, and it's really can't see what's going on. It's like nothing's changed. It's like the app is not working. However, what we want to go ahead and do is you want to go ahead and add styles, and this is very nice. So say for example you just want to go ahead and just see the circles, right? What you could go ahead and do is apply that style, just increase the size of the circles. But say for example, right, we want to understand what each of these circles mean. Right here in our query, we could look at the number of bikes available as long with the geographic location of each point. So what we want to go ahead and do is, say for example, we want to work with, see if you want to see which of these points have like 60 bikes or more, we turn on the data-driven tag, right? We give a function linear. You could use any of these, and definitely you want to work with them, see how which one fits your needs the best. Right? And then you want to provide for your field, which is number of bikes available. We're interested, right? So according to our query, we asked if the number of bikes were greater than 30, right? And the max provided here is 56, so that's going to be our domain. And then our range is just going to now again be the size of that circle. So I'm going to provide, let me provide 100, right? Since it starts to be noticeable, and let me go up to 500. We click apply a style like so, and now we kind of get to see that this area in the upper west side has more bikes, and down in Williamsburg here we have a small amount of bikes, right? You could assume that size is 30, right? And then we could just continue with it, right? This is not limited to one. If you wanted to play around, right? Like so, we could go ahead and just see how interesting things could get, right? And now say for example, you want to work with a third domain, 40, and then you want to add a different color just to keep working. This applies to all the properties as you can see. All right, click out like so. All right, that's a bit too dark. Choose something brighter. Apply style like so. Right, and then we kind of see by colors and now colors and size that 56 is going to be represented by this lavender color here, and the smaller items are going to be represented by that burgundy. Let me change the color to dark red, to a bright red. See if you can see a difference. It's all right. I think clicking here is not the best, but definitely get the feature. Right, so now there's two types of data we could work with when we're dealing with loading data into a BigQuery table to be used for GIS. What we have is WKT as well as GeoJSON, and the links to the descriptions about both of them are in the resources section of this lab. So we want to go ahead and do in our front end, you want to turn this to false, like so. Right. So now, because we're not loading data into a table anymore, back in our template, want to go ahead and update the backend environment object, as well as copy the WKT data, right, and see what this looks like. Right, so I have my target table populated. All I need to do is press submit, right, and now we could go ahead and take a look at our table. Right, refresh like so. Always refresh. Right, and then since there's really just one row in here, right, you can see what this WKT data looks like. And now want to head over to the GeoJSON part. I want to see what that looks like. I want to see what that data looks like as well. And then obviously the case there's going to be a lot of more factors if you're definitely into this part of data science. Definitely going to understand it more, and then documentation as well will be posted in the resources section of this lab. Right. And now, say for example, we want to go ahead and create that table again, like so. You kind of see the differences, right? The GeoJSON has a lot more detail here, but it might not always be the case. I might be mistaken, but just seeing this, I'd rather work with WKT as well. Yeah. So with that said, that is really just an introduction really into working with Bigquery GIS, but I feel like that's a lot more than all that you need. If you want to work with it more, you want to get into the field of big data and geography, and please like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, reach out to me in the comments. A link to the lab as well as a link to social media will be posted in the video description. Thanks for watching.